countryside around Sligo.
In the most gruelling sports event ever held in Ireland. Don't worry, all you have to do is watch it. The premier All-Ireland Triathlon.
RTE, in association with Premier Dairies, welcomes you to the beautiful countryside around Sligo, where more than 200 athletes will swim a mile in the sea, cycle 57 miles, and then run a half marathon.
The course for the Premier Dairies Triathlon is in what must be the most beautiful setting ever for a triathlon event. Through the magnificent Yates countryside, where every landmark is celebrated in the poetry of William Butler Yeats. Where the wandering water gushes from the hills above Glencar in pools among the rushes that scarce could bathe a star, we seek for slumbering trout, and whispering in their ears give them unquiet dreams, leaning softly out from ferns that drop their tears over the young streams.
Only the fittest will survive what must surely be the toughest endurance event ever held in Ireland.
I finished it if I have to crawl home.
Well, most people didn't know what a triathlon was really until last year when the first Premier Dairies Triathlon was held. So it might be an idea just to take a look back and see what it was all about.
And they're away, the siren has gone, and the first ever televised triathlon in Ireland is underway, the Premier Triathlon. Over 60 competitors, and at the end of all this, just one lucky person will have an all-expenses-paid trip to Hawaii to compete in the World Ironman Triathlon. Paul Emmett is prominent, Paul Tansey is prominent, Chalky White, Jerry Kelly, 43-year-old Jerry Kelly, some of them still wading in, the first tentative wade. But up front, it's going to be Kevin Williamson, Chalky White, Paul Tansey, Diane Sloan prominent there too, Ken Murray, Andy Hamilton, Nicky O'Mara, and even at this early stage, somebody is backstroking. And Michael Walsh is in the lead. Michael Walsh is in the lead as they come into Roundwood. There he is, just 20 from the Ace Club, the Ace Rosengren Club. And our helicopter taking them through Roundwood, County Wicklow. The weather is worsening just a little bit. I think you can see the mist settling down quite a deal. And time for a little food for Michael Walsh. He's as happy as a lark on a bike, and so indeed is Adrian Byrne. Well, nothing can stop him now. Michael Walsh, the 20-year-old from the Ace Cycling Club, is proving himself the ace today. Bar a total collapse and a blackout, he's got to make it now. The smile says it all. I wonder what he's thinking of. Honolulu, Waikiki Beach. There's his coach with the congratulations. I feel he could make it now on hands and knees. Michael Walsh coming into the little wooden bridge. And in sight of the finish line, he's on his way to Hawaii. The welcoming party, he looks good, he looks strong, and what a prize. The biggest day of his life, without a doubt. Michael Walsh, the winner. He's been in 3 Ross Taulchins, 2 tours of Ireland. He's represented Ireland in cycling in the Isle of Man in June of '83. But this is the biggest one of them all.
Michael's swimming technique improved a lot between the Wicklow event and coming here to Hawaii to represent us in the Ironman. Each morning he had trained at the New Park Pool in Black Rock under the expert guidance of national swimming coach George Gibney. Michael set himself a target time of 1.5 hours for this 2.4-mile swim, and he comes ashore at his anticipated time. The water temperature in the 70s helped, of course. However, the heat was but one of the problems encountered on the 112-mile cycle. High winds and straight roads stretching off into the distance as far as the eye could see required superb concentration and fitness. There was a plentiful supply of aid stations along the marathon course, but for somebody like Michael, who has never run a marathon before, this was quite an ordeal. The black Hawaiian night would shroud this volcanic lava-strewn landscape before the premier champion crossed the finish line ahead of 500 of his fellow Ironmen. Surely a tremendous performance. And so from the Hawaiian heat to a more pleasant afternoon here in Sligo, where competitors are gathering at the new sports centre for the 1984 event. Gary Rooney and his colleagues from the Éire Óg Cycling Club will thoroughly check each bike before tomorrow's gruelling event. Every competitor gets a numbered swim cap which will assist identification in the water, as well as a bag of Puma sportswear. Nobody seems the slightest bit anxious over the ordeal which will face them in the morning.
You turn it this way.
Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
Here's 262 here, right? Here's 262 here.
And every bike with you.
Let's meet some of the competitors. First, the chairman of the Irish Triathlon Association, who was runner-up in last year's Premier Dairies Triathlon, Desi McHenry.
Far better course, far better course,
Why?
yes. Well, for a start, I've been trying to practice improving my cycling. Also the long swim. And I think the longer swim will, make it more even than it was last year. I'm sorry to say it, but it'll make
it tougher on the cyclists, of course. Yeah.
Aye, I think a big deciding factor will be the length of time people spend in the water. Obviously, the slower swimmers are going to spend a longer time in the water, therefore they're going to be getting colder. So it's going to be harder for them in the transition area. So a couple of tough cyclist guys who are hopefully will be in the water a wee while longer than me.
I'm more prepared this year than I was last year. Last year I was just went out to finish the course, but this year I'm competing, hoping to be in the first 10.
Barry Thrower, in good shape this year, Barry? From the New Park Sports Centre.
That's right.
So your swimming should be good.
Oh, it's pretty strong, yeah.
What about the sea down there, Ross's Point, though?
Oh, we're in it today, and it's quite good, I think I'll do well in the swim. The cycles wear me over these hills.
Well, you keep fit generally, Barry, but have you been working specifically for this?
I've worked a bit more on my running this time, and got a lighter bike.
No, well, I can't imagine. Peter will certainly be out of the water first. I can't imagine him looking over his shoulder to see where I am. We'll have a battle between the two of us.
Are you going to beat him, Peter?
Hopefully, yeah, but maybe not on the cycling. He's more experienced than me.
Exactly. You've ridden across America, Seamus.
Yes, indeed. May last year, we rode from San Francisco to New York, and while this is very different, obviously, this is 52 miles, and it should stand to me, though. I'm hoping it will.
Triathlon is the ultimate fun, really, You can, instead of rushing and beating the road, you can, and killing your feet, you can just do 3 things, relax with the swimming. And the triathlon is more satisfactory.
If I get in the first third, I'll be quite happy. And it's purely fun. It's probably the last year I did it, and it's probably the best event I've participated in from the point of view of just the fun.
I think people here are now more triathletes than they are individual, like runners, cyclists and swimmers. So I think the standard will be very high tomorrow.
Well, what about yourself? You were first out of the water, but then you had difficulty on the bicycle.
I would like to repeat that performance tomorrow. That'll be my main aim tomorrow. But the cycling and the run, no, I haven't really done enough work, I believe, mostly because this year was committed to swimming. But the triathlon will be a future event for me, so I hope to go into that more next year.
Very glamorous Diane Sloan. Not only glamorous, a very fit lady. Last year, the leading lady, and this year there's a trip to Nice for the leading lady. Are you looking forward to that, Diane?
I would like to win, but there's a lot of competition this year.
How hard have you been training?
I trained very hard all winter, and I just hope that it go well.
Is it everyday training?
Yes, twice a day usually.
And how many hours would you devote to it?
I reckon about 20 hours a week.
So here's wishing good luck to Diane and all the competitors who have been made very welcome here in Sligo. There's a festival atmosphere downtown where, in addition to street banners, the Junior Chamber of Commerce have organised window display competitions. All hotel rooms are full, and after viewing the video of last year's event being screened at the Sligo Park Hotel, it'll be early to bed for all.
Well, we're down by the sea at Ross's Point, and everything is in readiness for the Premier Dairies Triathlon. The competitors, those of whom I spoke to, said they didn't sleep very much last night, but their state of fitness is such that that won't trouble them very much anyway. There are over 200 of them, and they begin with this 1 mile swim here. Thankfully, the waters are very calm. It's overcast, but it's a lovely day for it. Are you sorry you're not one of them, Thelma?
No, I'm not actually, Brenda, but I am really looking forward to being a spectator. I saw a lovely little notice in a shop window in Sligo town today, and it said, "Welcome and good luck to all the brave athletes," and brave they certainly are, because it's an arduous task.
It is indeed a mammoth undertaking, and your undertaking, Alderman Pat Curley, has been pretty mammoth too.
We've had tremendous local involvement, Brendan. We've had the yacht club, as you can see here this morning, are extremely involved and have been involved from the word go. We have the civil defence, 160 people from the civil defence involved. We have all the local sporting organisations. We have a great medical backup team and support services from the water safety people. We have the Junior Chamber of Commerce involved in doing a number of promotional activities for us, and a whole variety of other groups and organisations. So we have over, in total, some 200 people involved in the organisation.
I would think that, particularly with the help of RTE and covering it, that an event like this will gain in popularity, and to my mind will rival the marathon, not numerically, but certainly in terms of interest. It's the next logical stage for the marathoner to go on to do an event that incorporates 3 disciplines, cycling, swimming and running.
Michael Jacob, Managing Director of Premier Dairies. You got over 60 in the event last year, over 200 this year. So you must be pleased with that.
A splendid turnout this year, Brendan. We're very, very pleased. And it's the growing interest in sport, and the establishment, I think, of the Irish Triathlon Association during the year is going to help it marvellously. It's developing well, and Premier is developing with it, thank goodness.
And obviously you must have judged that it was a good sponsorship to come back this year.
Yes, a very good
roundly
supported. A very good sponsorship, and watching Michael Walsh's performance and finishing so well last year and doing so well abroad afterwards has given us great satisfaction, and we feel we should be supporting an event like this.
Well, in addition to the sponsors' contribution, what an enormous effort local organisations here in Sligo have put into staging the event on behalf of RTE. Through the cooperation of the Department of Defence, a total of 160 uniformed civil defence personnel are giving their services under the direction of Commandant Vinnie Bly. 30 canoeists, as many surfboards and 8 speedboats will patrol the swim course so competitors can be rescued quickly if in difficulties. The Sligo Yacht Club here at Ross's Point not only gave us the use of the club rooms, but members are supervising the safety aspect of the swim under the direction of Chairman Gus Henry. So as start time approaches, let's join Brendan over on Bowmore Strand.
And here on the Strand, 0 hour fast approaches. Everything in readiness. Swimmers with Vaseline on them to keep out the cold. Many of them are wearing goggles there. There are 202 of them altogether, and they've been told that it will start on the dot of 11, so it's only seconds to go. There are 15 women among them, and there's Diane Sloan, the leading one. She took the title last year and hoping to take it again this year. So last good wishes there. If there's one characteristic that's common to them, it's an easygoing good humour. And there's the Claxton. Ronnie Delaney gives the signal, and it's the charge of the Life Brigade, and hopefully there are going to be no casualties today. Never was cold water attacked so enthusiastically and so vigorously. 58 degrees, but it's no bother to them with a 52-mile cycle after that and then a 13-mile run. They're from everywhere in Ireland: Drumbo and Down, Ballintemple and Cork, Roscrea, Tipperary, Arklow and Wicklow, Rathkeil and Limerick, Ballymena and Antrim, Ring and Waterford, Oranmore, Galway, Westport and Mayo. Yes, competitors from all... A large group rounding the boy there, and among those people like Michael O'Callaghan from Tralee, a linesman, Herbert Inglis from Dublin, a plumber, Anthony Gallagher from Boyle, a draftsman, James Ryan from New Ross, an architectural student, Urca Stewart from Dublin, the senior counsel. And looking closer there, Patrick Burbage from Port Darlington, David Kavanagh from Castleknock is there, Douglas Barry of Bray, Liam O'Leary of Cork, David Foley of Dublin, Jack Mead with a beard from Dublin there in the foreground, and beyond him was Patrick Whitney of Rosslare. Gerald Underwood from Dublin there, shop assistant from Glasnevin, as we look again at Kevin Williamson. And stretching his lead all the time. Back we go to Gerald Underwood. He's 20 years of age from St. Vincent's, and there's that great surveillance with the canoeists always ready to help any swimmer in difficulty. And now we see Diane Sloan with that beautiful style that's keeping her up with the best of the men. Very relaxed and easy. Crawling along, she has a little trouble with destination there. The goggles may be hampering her somewhat, but she finds her destination point, or does she? Another hesitation, and away she heads for the harbour. And closing on the harbour, it's Kevin Williamson. He's just within yards now of the finish of the 1 mile swim. First in again this year. What will his time be? He's coming to the steps, and it's going to be a good one. Climbing up there in the little ledge, coming to the steps, and his time is 16:45. Kevin pressing on. He needs all the time he can get, of course, with that long cycle and run ahead of him. And there he takes the fresh water brought down from the golf club by the fire brigade and the civil defence. As we look back to see the second man coming in now, and it's Tadhg Murphy. Tadhg Murphy, he's going to be under 19 minutes. He's a 20-year-old clerical officer with Telecom Éireann from Glasnevin in Dublin and the Half Moon Club. He had the fastest time in the Liffey swim last year, and his time here as he gets to the steps is 18:38. Tadhg. Nearly 2 minutes behind. As we look to the third man, and the third is Gerald Underwood. Gerald Underwood with the helicopter hovering overhead. Gerald, a 20-year-old shop assistant from Glasnevin, second in the bull wall swim this year, and a member of the St. Vincent's Water Polo Club. He's going to be under 20 minutes. Still swimming strongly at the end of the mile, coming to the steps. And it's Gerald Underwood who's going to take third under 20 minutes, as we see the fourth and fifth in the top of the shot there, coming towards the steps. Gerald Underwood, 19:23, and that's Diane Sloan with David Warby just getting in ahead of her. David Warby is fourth, Diane Sloan is fifth, and Warby and Sloan both under 20 minutes. Warby with the time of 19:42, and Diane just seconds behind him, literally, coming in 19:47. Difficult, Diane. Was it difficult? Freezing. by Diane, doing so well in that swim, ahead of the field in 5th place, going through the spray there, getting the spray as well as the camera lens. And we see Kevin Williamson now leaving the bicycle park. He shed his swimming togs into his cycling gear and off he chases as we look back to the water. And coming in 6th place is Frank O'Dwyer. Frank from Killiney in Dublin is a 30-year-old, a lifeguard and a swim teacher by profession. 6th place, 7th, 8th and 9th coming in now. Brian Mungy, Michael O'Mara and Dermot Kelleher with John Glass 10th. And in 11th place, it's Paul Emmett, the veteran, 45 years of age. Paul, who has competed in the Liffey swim for over 26 years. And last year he was 13th in the Premier Dairies triathlon. He's a little off direction there, looking around, finding his harbour destination point and pressing on for that 11th place. So understandably, all of the top swimmers to the front, but the great bulk of them are still way out the course. In fact, many of them haven't even come near the halfway mark. And there's the general view of the harbour. Let's hear how Thelma sees all this from her lofty perch in that helicopter.
And from up here in the helicopter, the overall scene at the yacht club looks impressive indeed. The Civil Defence and Gardaí have done a magnificent job in keeping the crucial area around the swim exit and change area free of spectators. Further up the hill to the left, those who have come out from Sligo to watch the race will have an excellent view of the start of the cycle race after each competitor picks up his own machine from the well-ordered rows organised by the Civil Defence. Below us, you can see the marquee where competitors change before heading for the bike park.
Well, the girls had special changing accommodation arranged for them at the yacht club, but seconds count, and Diane saved seconds by changing in the general changing area in the marquee. She's ready for the cycle. You going to take it easy at the start, Diane, or belt away?
Just belt away.
And belt away she does, as we see Aidan Buckley coming up there from Ballintemple, a primary teacher, Nicky O'Mara from Artane, Peter Byrne from Santry, Joseph Healy from Galwegians Rugby Football Club. And Diane up the hill, passing John Glass, who's having difficulty getting his bag there. As they come through the spray, Brian Byrne from Green Hills in Dublin. You'll see Doyne and Nugent from Galway among them there, Raymond McCann from Derry, David Flannery from the Tipperary Wheelers. The morning mist has lifted. It's a really lovely day now. Knocknarea in the background. And most of the swimmers, the main body of them still strung way out along the course.
The extent to which the swim has spread out along the 1-mile course is best seen from up here in the helicopter. None of the swimmers appear to be in any distress, while the rescue boats are just out of the picture on either side. Ambulances were able to drive down onto the beach as a result of a special roadway laid down for the event by Sligo County Council. However, it looks that fortunately their services won't be required. The sheltered bay here at Ross's Point has an enviable record for its safety for swimming, and we expect the vast majority of these swimmers to reach the finish before the cut-off time of 1 hour.
Civil Defence with a bag ready is Dermot Kelleher, a former Dublin minor GAA player, heads up the hill. Then Paul Emmett, Paul who was 11th out of the water, getting his feet into the pedals there and heading out on that very arduous cycle. The helicopter overhead, as they rush to the change tent, we see the pale figure there, Michael Walsh, the title holder, going in. He's 24:44 in the swim.
At least I got a wash anyway. Yeah, it was quite hard to get used to. The beginning, I think the shock of trying to keep your breathing as regular as possible. The shock of the cold water.
You're ahead of Michael Walsh. Were you ahead of him at this stage last year?
Oh, no way. I was, yeah. But he's a very strong cyclist. That's why I've got these quick slip-on shoes.
Right. Great. Good luck.
Which way they go?
Come on, Desi!
Well, Desi quicker at dressing there. His time of the swim, 24:54. At the bus, Gerard Wafer of Fife Paul in Dublin. Alan Blackburn from Bangor there to the left. Bobby Gardner and John Glass as Desi heads up the hill. A tremendous competitor, Desi McHenry, runner-up last year. And coming down the hill as Desi goes up is Brian Mungy, coming to leave his bag at the bus. Brian from Ballygall in Dublin. Enthusiastic support from the crowd. And Michael Walsh preparing to get on the bicycle. Michael, happy with your swim?
Yes, happy enough.
You're a bit behind.
Oh, Michael, ahead. You're getting your time.
Well, Michael, much happier, I'd say, on the bike now than he was in the swim. An experienced cyclist as he heads off, hopefully, to retain this title he won last year. The great crowd that turned out from Sligo giving him all the help they can as he heads up the hill.
Well, that was the worst part over, I think.
Alan Blackburn from Bangor heads off. Number 58 there, Patrick Skean from Glasnevin, North Dublin Swim Club. He's a 32-year-old, married and self-employed. And he's got a lot to do now as we watch Gordon Murray from Dundonald. And coming in a shot there, Anne Carney from Finglas, a member of Clonliffe Harriers. Anne married with 2 children, aged 6 and 2. And she's completed 2 RTE2 marathons. Johnny the Scramble up the hill there. And a long way to go for Anne. Followed by Jack Mead from Ballantyre, and then scrambling up the hill, Adrian Byrne, carrying his bike. He was 3rd last year, Adrian, a marvellous competitor from Kilmainham in Dublin, 31-year-old motorcycle policeman, and I'm sure he'd like to have the motorcycle with him right now. Then David Foley from Dublin, Juliet Smith from Malahide, a 23-year-old student, Thomas Tracy from Coolock.
So for some at least, the ordeal of the swim is over, and the open road of the cycle course is more appealing. As expected, Olympic swimmer Kevin Williamson's swim time for the mile was extremely fast. Diane Sloan, just 3 minutes and 2 seconds behind, is going to give her male colleagues a run for their money. In 6th place, Frank O'Dwyer, who has swum Dublin Bay. Michael O'Mara in 8th place at 18 is our youngest competitor, while John Glass is the 19-year-old student from Queen's University in Belfast. Ahead lies the 57-mile cycle, so join us for that exciting action after this break.
Wake up every day to bring me a goodness.
3, 2, 1.
First in so many ways, that's trivia goodness.
For quality, creaminess and freshness, put first things first.
Wake up every day
Premier Dairies. Put first things first.
to Premier Milk.
That's my sister. She adores the kids. And they love it when she visits, especially when she brings them Milky Way. They enjoy their Milky Way, and my sister knows I won't take her off, because with its centre whipped till it's really light and fluffy, then covered with delicious real milk chocolate, Milky Way won't fill them up. Who's for lunch then?
Milky Way, the sweet you can eat between meals without ruining your appetite.
There's something special about McDonald's Royal New Harvest Vegetable Soup. It's gorgeous. And it's creamy. There's loads of vegetables in it. And you can't see it. Squiggly pieces in it. Little bits. It's very smooth. That's why I like it. I like it. McDonald's Royal New Harvest Vegetable. A smoother blended vegetable soup.
More soup, please. On its way.
Just one sip says it's smoother.
When you need to be ready for anything, keep your cool with Shield. The deodorant stripes in new Shield help you stay cool, confident, Shield keeps a body cool.
This is a mum who always remembers Disprin. She remembers Disprin for taking care of Dad's headache. She remembers Disprin for effective relief that's always at hand for every one of the family. And she remembers Disprin when Sean's got a cold or flu. No wonder she remembers. It's the family solution.
The unmistakable sound.
The Chieftain!
The unmistakable taste.
What do I think of Guinness? Put a pint in front of me and I'll show you.
Rich and dark. Deep and rewarding. Guinness.
You just can't beat it.
Guinness. No beer comes near.
Collect your free Carrickdoon pottery bowls at your local participating BP station.
Can you resist M&B marvellous bread? Every slice tastes twice as nice.
Slimline yogurt, low fat, sugar free and only half the calories from Premier Yogurt.
Now you know, Country Kitchen Stuffing Mix, tested and approved by Granny McGlynn.
Finance for the things you need, with repayments covered in case of redundancy, accident, sickness or death, from Bank of Ireland Finance and selected retail outlets.
Welcome back. The cycle course takes the competitors from Ross's Point back towards Sligo town before swinging left onto the main Bundoran road. Ahead lies some of the most scenic countryside in Ireland, passing Drumcliff and on to the turnaround point at Cashilgarran. Here they'll head back again to Drumcliff and will meet the slower competitors going in the other direction.
And it's Kevin Williamson holding on to that lead he built up in the swim, the man who represented Ireland in swimming in 2 Olympic Games at Montreal and Moscow. But that lead of his has been relentlessly cut down now by people like Michael Walsh, Edwin Byrne, Desi McHenry. Passing the old Drumcliff Creamery,